Yo, what's going on today, guys? It's Rick here, and today we got to talk about something that I've been dying to make a video for. As you know, me and Ryan, born and raised in Arizona, we have to talk about the Phoenix Suns. So, the Phoenix Suns obviously did not have the greatest offseason they've ever wanted. We wanted to get KD, we wanted to get someone to come in at power forward and take over that spot and raise this team to a championship caliber. Obviously, we're close. We've seen it the past 2 years. We're close. But we might even be closer this year. We might be closer than ever because of two players. And specifically, we want to talk about Devin Booker. As someone that was a Phoenix Suns fan, I was ecstatic, obviously, as we've seen Devin Booker's progression. Over the years, we saw a young shooter that could really shoot the ball and showed a ton of promise early in his career, turned into the lead guy that really couldn't handle the ball, but if you got him in the right shooting positions, like he was going to get you 25 a night. It's actually closer to 26, 27 a night almost. He's averaged that for basically the last 5 years now, but he really couldn't handle the ball. Like he couldn't bring the ball up the court. He has elevated his game to a new level this year. We've seen it with Chris Paul out. We have Campaign starting at point guard. But you're seeing Devin Booker bring up the ball more than he ever has in his career. And he is making outstanding passes. He has always been a high turnover guy. Back in 2018, 2019, kind of when I was talking about, like, he got 27 a game, but he was averaging 4 turnovers a game. This year, he's getting 29 a game with 2.6 turnovers. That's something that I didn't think I would ever see in my career. Obviously, bringing in Chris Paul, like, that's the main reason why, like, he's gotten so good at ball handling, because you have arguably a top 5 point guard all time teaching you and watching him on a daily basis. But he made a pass last night. He was driving to the lane, and I thought 10 out of 10 times he's going for this shot, maybe get an and one or just go down for a free throw, which he doesn't get a lot of free throws, so maybe he's learned that over his career. The most he's ever gotten in a season for free throws is 7. Luka's at 11 this season, and that's why he's leading the NBA in points per game. But he made a pass driving to the lane. He drove to the lane and literally made a pass all the way to the three-point line, basically behind him. The commentators even said, hey, it looked like Booker had eyes on the back of his head there. And I was honestly mind blown because as someone that I was very critical at one point of Devin Booker, I literally would watch the games and go, he can't take the ball up the court. We need a point guard. We need. And he's evolved his game to a point where he would be fine without Chris Paul. I obviously love to have Chris Paul at peak Chris Paul like he's been the past couple of years, but we can survive without Chris Paul now, which makes a very interesting future for the Suns and not needing to go get the big point guard or someone that can play next to him in the backcourt. We can probably draft someone and help him come up with Devin Booker because Book's gotten that much better. And we're not even talking about the best part of Book's game. He is shooting 48.9% this year, which he's done before. He did it in 2019, 2020, and he shoots. His career percentage is 46%, but obviously early on in his career it wasn't that good. But he's basically hung around 48% for the past 4 years. He's getting 29 a game right now on only 6.6 free throws. He's shooting a lower percentage actually than the past couple years for him, but 87%, almost 88% from free throw. But he's shooting almost 38% from 3. And he's shooting less threes, which means he just understands his game. There's a lot of people out there in the NBA that truly just don't understand their skill set. And I would honestly say Luka Doncic is one of them. That dude launches 8, almost 9 threes a game, and he is a terrible three-point shooter. Another person, that same issue, Jason Tatum. Maybe they just need a few more years in the league. Obviously, Buck's in year, 7 or 8 now? I think year 8. So maybe it is like a learning curve. He just needs to get a little bit more time in for these guys to really understand their game. But like, there's a reason why there's players out there like Dame Lillard, KD, that talk about Book having some of the best game in the league because he just understands it. He knows he doesn't get the free throws, so he takes a lot of 2-point mid-range jump shots. Him and DeMar DeRozan basically have the same game, and it was fun watching it last night for the Chicago Bulls and Suns game. They both just went back and forth, and it was super fun. But he just knows his game, and that's so underrated in this day and age. Everyone wants to see the big points. Everyone wants to see the flashy dunks like John Morant. Everyone wants to see that stuff, but he just understands the game. His game, the game around him, basketball IQ is unbelievable. And I think that's going to transcend the Suns to a new level. I mean, when you got, obviously he dropped 50 last night, and that's why we're talking about him today. But KD tweeted at him and said, 20 for 25, that's absolutely effing ridiculous, Devin Booker. Like, and it is. I mean, he went off last night. Not everyone can do that. He did it without shooting threes. Listen, I don't think he shot like more than a couple threes last night. Last night he shot, okay, I take it back. He went 6 for 7 from 3. I was wrong on that one. But he scored 51 last night. It was absolutely fantastic. And I think most of those threes came in the third quarter. And he didn't play in the fourth quarter at all. Coach actually asked him to go back in, and he said, hey, coach, I kind of checked out already. I mean, the game's over. He wanted to help him boost him, get to a 60-point game. And Book was like, I'm good with it. I don't need to prove anything. I mean, he has a 70-point game already, but it is what it is. The other thing I wanted to touch on today, guys, Deandre Ayton was horrible this whole year until about 4 games ago. I don't know what fire got lit under him, or if the guys like had a team meeting or something and just said, hey, Ayton, we ain't winning unless you pick it up, because the dude was getting 7 boards a game, and since then, he's getting like 15 a game. So he's playing a much more aggressive early in the game and setting a precedence. He's scoring more. They're giving him more opportunities early in the game. That's usually Booker's job. Book usually goes out and has a big first quarter, he led the NBA in first quarter scoring last year. And so I think they're trying to get Ayton going early, so they really can't just lock Book down, because that's Book's game. He usually gets going early and then just rides it the rest of the game. So I think they're saying, hey, if we get Ayton going early, we can let Book go a little bit more ham in the second half, and we can let Ayton just be open more. They have to change their whole defense when Ayton's going off. So Ayton, the past few games, has gotten basically 30 and 15. As a very critical DeAndre Ayton fan, if he can hold this up and play like this all year and not just in the playoffs, it's going to transition great. And it's going to make the trade deadline a lot easier for the Suns. We need to get a little bit deeper on the bench. Damian Lee's playing great, but we do need a power forward. I love Cam Johnson, but he is an injury liability at this point. He's obviously having surgery for a meniscus thing right now, but he's missed a lot of time. We need to get a power forward that's reliable. Not saying KD is not an option, because, he probably is an option, realistically. The Nets are completely underperforming, and I could totally see him coming to the Suns because he's a huge fan of Devin Booker. They play together in the USA team. It just fits, Everyone likes Scottsdale. Arizona should be a hot spot for free agents. I mean, Monty Williams is a coach. Has basically a tie to like every player in the league, it feels like, because he's such a good guy and he's been on so many different coaching staffs, and he has a tie to everyone. I mean, he has a tie to KD from the Thunder days. So there's a ton of things that could go right for the Suns. We just need James Jones to keep doing well and grab those guys. Like right now, Damian Lee is leading the NBA in 3-point percentage in the fourth quarter. I have friends that are Warriors fans that legitimately told me he is an awful basketball player. And I said, I don't think he's an awful player. He gets like 20 minutes a night for the Warriors. He hits some shots here and there, but I'm not expecting him to hit the big ones. He's hitting the big ones. So if he keeps hitting those, it is a huge strength for our bench. And obviously he's playing with a ton of confidence right now, and it's possible. I mean, look at him. He's doing great this year. So if he can keep that going, this could be the year. This could be the year. And if you would have asked me about 2 weeks ago if I could think this could be the year, I wouldn't think so, because we had Cam Johnson go down. We had Chris Paul go down. Ayton was underperforming. A lot of weight on Booker just to like basically carry the team. And you're just seeing some other players come out and play well. Mikal Bridges having his best season yet, being more of an offensive focal point. And the most underrated player in the NBA, in my opinion, is either A, Devin Booker, or B, Mikal Bridges. It's probably Mikal Bridges, though, because everyone knows who Devin Booker is at this point for making first-team All-NBA last year. But Mikal Bridges really should have been the Defensive Player of the Year last year, and he just does everything to make everyone else look good. Like, if you watch their games every night, Mikal is just doing the dirty work. He makes everyone look good. He makes people play off differently when they're guarding him, or when he's guarding them, I should say. But it's the other way around, too, is He's shooting great from three this year. He's hitting like 40-something%. And he's just elevated his game to the next level, which I expected. He's a great basketball player and super underrated. So this could be the year. I don't know about you guys, but the Suns are looking good. Devin Booker, honestly, I think he's right now, he's like 5th or 6th in the MVP. If you look on like the sports books, like the ranking for them right now, I think he's like plus 220, 2,200, I think it is right now, which is better than it was last year, surprisingly, even though he should have probably won it going on like past MVPs because no one knows what the actual criteria is to win the MVP. But don't be surprised if he keeps climbing up that list. He is playing some very good basketball. And honestly, this Phoenix Suns, they're looking scary. I'll have a power rankings video out either later this week or early next week. And if they keep playing well, they're going to be even higher than they were last week. Or, yeah, it was last week. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.